All right, everyone, we are back with Game 3 of Omega Gaming versus NoPing. This is the Division 2 of the South American DPC, provided by 4D Esports and Epulze. And I'm Bowie. How are you doing, my lovely co-caster?
Pretty well.
Oh, okay. You
I'm kind of
kind of had you
fascinated by
think,
this
though. Are you
glitch.
really good? Are you sure?
Yeah, I had some fun playing a tournament today. Thanks for asking.
Oh, yeah.
So we have exactly the same pick order as last time,
Mm-hmm.
and I expected an Enchantress ban, but NoPing decides to ban Mirana and the Dusa.
Huh. Okay.
I feel like it's a bit weird to identify Dusa as being the problem, but maybe the comfort is just too much for Omega.
Yeah.
So they also responded very fast to the Enchantress, so I expect that to be some pre-made response, the DK and the Hoodwink.
They also seem to value this combo quite a bit because they even go for it this early. Do you do you think? I mean, obviously the Tiny is going to flex, but do you think if Tiny's carry, the Tiny Enchantress lane is powerful against what's probably gonna be a DK Hoodwink lane if we don't consider the flexes?
Yeah, I would still give the advantage just in the laning to Enchantress, because Enchantress is such a monster in the laning stage. And Tiny is a pretty good answer because it's another one of those heroes that is hard to burst. That's
True.
what DK and Hoodwink want to do, right? They can jump people and burst super easily.
Yeah.
So pretty solid answer.
Another mechanic that's very good for Tiny is that unlike heroes like PA where the break actually takes the passive out, you still keep the armor once you're broken as Tiny, right? So pretty
Yeah.
good even against that Hoodwink Sharpshooter. We do see Tiny, Invoker, and TA being bans.
Bunch of carry bans.
Would you say those bans indicate that Tiny is gonna be played as a carry, or you don't think it's necessarily?
Yeah, usually it's impossible. Usually it's impossible to tell. Like you just can't know because maybe the teams like wouldn't even decide by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They would just want to have more information and then make the decision. But the the TA and the Terrorblade are definitely some really bad carry matchups for Tiny. Um, so obviously the opponents have the last pick in the second phase, so that's a really good place for you to be picking these super strong carries that are kind of harder to pick. And Invoker is pretty good on mid lane against Tiny. Maybe they are looking out for that as well. But at the same time, it's just a good combo with DK and Hoodwink.
True. And they go for that burst combo we were talking about. Instead of the DK Hoodwink, they get the Mars Skyref.
Yeah, it seems to be very popular. This kind of, let's say, strong melee, tanky offlaner together with a range post 4 that can bring a lot of damage. I'm kind of fascinated by the fact that the DP got to be picked that late.
Yeah, but it felt like they also had a response, right? They're like, sure, gonna get this hero, we'll just burst it.
I feel like that's a little bit difficult. Yeah, you have a lot of Mars with a lot of burst with Mars Kyrat, but it's not enough. They are going to need to bring more. NoPing would be able to pick a save as well, but I expect a carry to be picked here.
Okay.
What would be good?
Well, PL strikes me as interesting.
He has
Uh,
a very bad matchup in terms of carry against Tiny, though.
yeah. Uh, you think that offsets the it being good by versus Mars and Ancient Sky?
I do think so, but it's their decision, right?
No, I'm
It's all
just
about how
asking.
much.
I'm
Yeah,
honestly just asking.
basically, it's definitely what I was trying to say is that it's definitely in that territory where you don't know, right? Some heroes you just couldn't play into this.
Mm-hmm.
Some others you just wouldn't care. PL in this matchup, if you think that the hero is very good in this game, Tiny is not enough to stop you from picking it.
Yeah. They go Luna instead. Lots of push, right? We have 3 cores that can take structures. Looks like they were a little bit bumped out about that first draft where they, even though they had relatively okay lanes, they couldn't really push their advantage too much. So they even go a little bit overboard. Not sure if you think you can go overboard with something like this. But now time for NoPing to get a carry. I'm sorry, I guess mid slash.
Usually it's not a problem.
You don't think it's a problem?
It can be a support.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty flexible. Whereas Omega...
Usually that Prophet and Decay are not too much tower damage. It's actually a pretty good combo together. But yeah, they definitely need a save on the side of NoPing. And Omega are understanding that, they banned the Abaddon. There's a high chance that they pick a support, and there's also a good chance that this Dead Prophet just ends up being position 5, and they go for probably mid laners since they want the Decay to combo together with Hoodwink.
Do you ban like Oracle here if you're Omega? You should just like taking all of the options
Good
out?
ban it. It's definitely not bad. Good combination with Dusa. Yeah, it's definitely a good pick.
But they take Quap instead, so they think the DP could be a 5 and they will need a mid hero. So what is a good hero? A good hero. Okay, I guess Quap is a good hero against that hero that Omega would like to run as a mid hero.
That could be, let's say, Batrider. Pretty good against that Prophet and Decay. Storm. Yeah, Storm has a really bad matchup into Cop. That's what they decide to go for.
Okay, the same.
Now,
go on.
The problem with Storm is that he has a very bad matchup into Decay because of that instant stun.
Yeah.
And he's also not very happy into Hoodwink and that Prophet.
True.
So it's kind of a weird pick in my opinion. It all depends on how well he can play. But I'd rather go for some other heroes. And now let's see if they go for another save. The Oracle maybe. Maybe the Pugna, right? A lot of that magic damage mitigation would help.
Knowing NoPing, I think they are gonna play DP5 and yeah. They just love giving suits the like a good mid matchup. Not the biggest fan, but I guess Kunkka does, even though it's not a save, it's a pseudo save, right? With the boat, technically in team fights you could keep some of these heroes alive.
So NoPing would want to push towers with their lineup, right? And when you're getting up, trying to play together for objectives, the enemy team has to jump you. And that's when the boat is the most effective because you know exactly when they are going to initiate on you. So it might be enough to make sure that this Luna doesn't die anymore. But now the save is not as important because the Dead Prophet goes to position 5.
Yeah.
On the other hand, this Storm versus Kunkka matchup is very interesting. In the lane, you probably have a slight advantage as Kunkka, but later on in early game, it's kind of hard to catch the Storm. It will be very skill dependent whether you're actually able to hit him with the spells. You might get helped a lot by the DK stun, by the DP silence, all of these things. But once you get to your Orchid timing, and I'm pretty sure this is what suits would ideally go for, you actually have a really good matchup.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Orchid's gonna be key in terms of the actual matchup. I guess it goes both ways on the Storm versus Kunkka. You are a melee hero versus Storm, but at the same time, even though Storm's range, he is close for the Tidebringers. The side lanes, though, do you think there's any advantage here on this Luna plus DP versus the Skyref Mage plus Mars?
These are basically 4 lanes that are designed to be very, very strong. So I don't see any huge advantage in any of them, but the Enchantress should be very strong. I think that should go slightly in the favor of Omega. And on the other side, the Luna plus the Dead Prophet could be enough depending on how well the Dead Prophet plays. See what happens at the start.
Place a ward.
Both teams get their wards out. Nobody knows about the other one.
Sky, though, he is wandering a little bit too much. Unfortunately, there's no reach for NoPing.
He has to be careful. Luna skilled her passive. She has that night vision. They're trying to abuse that on NoPing.
Pretty good. El Misha just dancing here, but he is under vision of that other ward that was placed by Omega. But apparently, it's not gonna scout any wards, at least in the early game. All right. So, yeah, I don't see this. Obviously, Death Prophet having the Spirit Siphon and being able to soak a little bit of damage is strong. But don't you think she's burstable in that lane against so much magic damage?
I think it's hard. She would have to overextend. She would have to basically play in the 3 line.
Oh, Misho does get taken out, probably thanks to that vision we were talking about with the ward. Nicely done. Continue.
Yeah, like this position 5s really like to group up, or I guess the supports really like to group up at the start and go for this early kills. We saw it last time with Duster on the Lich. Yeah, I think ideally this Dead Prophet would like to play on the right side of the lane, so that it's harder for her to, let's say, get into a position where she trades with the both of them. She would ideally just trade with the Skyrat, and she needs to be careful to not be next to trees, because that's the only way she dies, if she gets slowed into spear.
Okay. So don't stay in the trees, says Mangusu. In the mid lane, pretty hefty fight going on here. Looks like the Storm with... it's pretty much even because there are more creeps on the side of Omega. So nothing major going on there. And Mingate just chilling against these two heroes. The camps are blocked, right? I think one was body blocked and the one was blocked with the sentry.
Yep.
But
the Enchantress goes back.
And now for Wolf.
You don't see this very often from Enchantress players. Usually they want to just trade and then use their spirits. Or they want to harass with the Impetus.
Not just casual plus 21 damage, seems.
Yeah, but the creeps at level 1 are very
they
low
don't
time.
last. Yeah, they don't
last. They don't last that long. On mid?
Okay, looks like Suit's very low. Was trying to fish for a Tidebringer, but J. Murray is not gonna give it to him. Just trying to wait this rune. Wait this creep to get the rune. Suits also gets his bottle. We could lose a couple of creeps here and there, but still overall even in top. We do see the DP dying, Dark Demon, and there is one Lucent Beam, but RDO doesn't even bother.
Kind of interesting how on top the lane is pushing towards them, but they're willing to bring both of their heroes to basically fight the DP 2 versus 1, while Luna has to last hit those creeps because the lane is pushing towards the enemy and the creeps are dying very fast.
Yeah, Duster to try and offset that pushing lane. We'll go for this large camp pull that could also be a stack, so nicely done. Bottom, we see the Ench now with lots of skeletons, so even though the main Dark Troll Summoner died, still a lot of annoyance and harass. Misha was body blocking, that's why he was in such a weird position.
He is really struggling on this hoodwink. Should just basically give up on trying to not buy these sentries. Just spam some sentries, make sure that you have control over the camps. The fact that the Enchantress is so cocky that she goes for enchant level 1, and then you actually give her a troll creep because you get zoned out, you didn't sentry, so now you get body blocked, and then you have to get harassed so hard to block again, and there's another creep.
Yeah. He's getting...
Let's see if Enchantress is gonna wait for level 3 and then get the creep with a longer timing.
Okay.
Or whether she's going to go for it now.
Looks like he's gonna... Yep, doesn't use it actually, so might do what you said. Didn't go for a stack or anything, but they're just gonna harass XFAT. The camp will also spawn here. So got a couple of harpies. That's pretty pog.
It is. So many options.
Elmish also didn't buy the sentries you were talking about. Namikaze has 2, so maybe that's why he sees the entry with so many sentries that he feels like it's not gonna be worth it.
I outplayed her. She bought 3 sentries. I bought none. He's outplay.
Yeah, J-Marie still harassing quite a bit in terms of CS. Mid is pretty even, so we're not even gonna look there. I don't think there's any kill potential, but talk to me about the stop lane. What do you think? Like, once Duster fed first blood, does this become like much harder now with the extra levels on these 2 heroes?
It does become a little bit harder, but basically, in all scenarios, this Death Prophet is going to be the only one that should be dying.
Oh, mid though, looks like Elmisha wants to get the Storm, but they didn't have any reach. Oh, the gank with the Wild Wing. Suits misses the torrent. The boat is there. Actually hits on J-Marie. He is level 5 after all. Can they get this kill? They don't. The boat debuff so strong. And now Dark Demon might... Okay. Very close. Dark Demon pops the Fairy Fire. Elmisha does the same. They get that kill. But they don't get suits. So really, I guess that's good for NoPing, right? The Storm being underleveled.
Yeah, it's definitely good for NoPing. The all of the supports were trying to pressure because the Skunkak hit level 6 way before the Storm. So it's kind of why we see so many supports there. He probably called for his teammate, like, come with Hoodwink, I'm going to hit 6. And then it was just a very good response from Radiant.
Oh! J-Marie actually dodges the torrent, gets the Arcane Rune, a lot of damage done to Suits. He doesn't have that bolt that saved him the first time. With the Arcane, they definitely has enough firepower to get that one, so very... I mean, I guess it was luck, but at the same time, they have a catapult, dude. With this creep, I think this could be a tower.
It looks like it, yeah. Something to always talk about is how strong are going to be this, let's say, engagements around the mid tower. If you're looking at the Radiant heroes, Storm together with Sky and Ench, very, very good trio. While on Dire, you don't really want DP to play in that area this early. So you will have this advantage that allows you together with the Enchantress to apply a lot of pressure. This would be way uglier if the Kunkka didn't manage to outplay and get the level 6 earlier and get that kill.
Yeah, definitely. Even still, a pretty sizable advantage being able to get all of that early map control. Now, in game 2, where Omega also had like a pretty good laning stage, we kind of agreed that Omega, there were no rush whatsoever. How do you see this Tiny versus Luna matchup? Do you think any team here is worried about having to end the game early?
The big difference between these heroes is that Luna, I see more as a teamfight carry. She kind of wants to group up with the team, go for objectives. She's strong when the fights have a lot of heroes in them. And she has some super, super strong timings, like the BKB, the Shard, the Skadi. It's all about hitting these timings, getting Roche, getting stuff done. They also have the DP and the DK who can threaten towers. So you would want to be able to get stuff done from NoPing's position, but at the same time, it's not like you get out carried a lot. You have a lot of time. You have a lot of timings where you can fight the Radiant team. While on Radiant, Tiny is more of a, let's say, traditional carry. He has much better 1-versus-1 matchups. At some point, I could see Radiant just running away with the game because of Storm and Tiny just having more of an impact, but that's not going to happen until, let's say, minute 40.
Okay.
I do think that Dire wants to use their ultis and use the timings of the Luna. So we should be paying a lot of attention to that. Let's see how much of an impact they can have with those timings. But at the same time, the thing that I think about most right now is how until this Orchid comes on the Kunkka, the Storm has kind of a free reign of the map. He might get silenced or something like that, but it's very hard for him to get killed. And the Radiant have the opportunity to push with Enchantress. So let's see how much Jemari can get done in this timing where he can't really get matched by Kunkka. So let's say if they go to the same place, it's going to be very hard for Kunkka to have as much of an impact as him. And he can definitely kill the Luna. That should be his objective. They should be running around.
Yeah. Speaking of suits, right now, looks like he's going BKB. So I'm not sure if losing the tower kind of shifted his mindset on what's needed. And he could also just go Orchid, but right now feels like he's not that interested.
They could also be thinking that the Hoodwink and the DK with Blink are enough to control the Storm, which fair enough.
Okay. Yeah, he is going for that Blink as most DKs do. Brown boots, no. I guess he did go wand, but not a lot of fancy items.
Jump on top.
Duster is dusted. Yeah, that's not even funny.
Dusted.
And that's
kind of.
Go on.
Yeah, that's something that has become not that popular lately. This idea of the supports just sitting on the tower and trying to get experience. Very hard to do against Skyrat and Mars. He just pops ulting and manages to kill you. And now the Luna is trying to play top as well, which is a bad idea against the Storm.
Okay, huge zip coming in, RDO. He does not have his OT, but that was a good bushwhack. They will find the Lisex and Jemari. After baiting a lot of TPs, will disengage. Can they get Namikaze? He's very, I guess, she is very fast. I don't think that's gonna happen. Oh no!
Level 2x.
Okay. Bolt. And she's gone. So, how do you rate this overall? Is this okay? Yeah, they're gonna get another one, so that's definitely good for NoPing.
This is very nice for NoPing. The fact that your Luna manages to defend the tower and not die, very important. I think the Storm just jumped too early. He didn't end up having enough mana. Even if you get stunned with Luna being half HP, if you have enough mana, you can still kill her. But the jump was very long.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at the RDO items, it still had like a wand plus the raindrop, so it felt like a slightly hard kill. But he did jump the gun, as you mentioned, and so...
The Enchantress was not in the right place there. Once you have the ulti on Mars, and this mid tower is gone, just play top. The moment you kill a DP with the ulti, you could be taking the tower.
Yeah.
Or at least have an extra person there once the Luna comes and tries to defend.
Speaking of defend, it is catapult time. Duster in tower duty. I guess Lisex is just waiting for one of the supports to get a little bit closer so he can try and play more aggressively. I guess you want to drag the creeps here so that they don't meet, and Duster's dead.
The Dire should be pressuring mid. What a cool usage of the tornado, pulling him into the arena. So the tower on bot was 20% HP, and the DK committed an ulti there, and the Luna TP'd. The Radiant the Dire should actually be pushing the mid tower, because once you have enough heroes from Omega top and committing this ulti on Mars to kill the DP, if you're in the right place, pressuring the mid tower, you're actually either gonna get it or get a lot of good damage on it. And Radiant can't really respond to that.
Yeah.
But instead, they use a lot of heroes to pressure a tower that was gonna die to a creep wave.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Even now that Sexy Fat has that blink, so he could have been in a good position to kill someone alongside the Suits Kunkka, and he committed. No Orchid. He will actually get a BKB instead, while the Storm is going for that Kaya Sanj. Pretty standard. Dire scan.
So Dire are going to set up around the mid tower. They do want to get the jump. They saw the blink.
Yeah, they saw it. Mingate even actually shows up. Odd.
They have the DP ulti though. They don't need the DK one. They can still pressure the tower.
Alright. So they're gonna smoke this time with, I guess maybe, no. I don't think Omega knows about this. Let's see if they can connect. The high ground is on Omega's side, and
Very
yeah,
good break by Enchantress.
Oh, but they're going for the. Okay, I'm not sure about this. They will. Oh, Enchantress taking a lot of damage right now as Lixex shows up with the
There's
spear.
an Arcane Rune on Storm.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Mingate even connects. Oh, with a beautiful, beautiful ulti from the Scarif Mage Duster. His ult's about to wear off. It's not gonna be enough damage. Wow. That was a very odd engagement going from the low ground like that, right?
They went for a team fight. You don't really want that because Radiant are super happy having all of their heroes there, right? When a Radiant plays in that area, they can be aggressive. So they feel fine to bring a bunch of heroes. So they had their carry as well. Luna, she would like to play in the enemy jungle and maybe be together with the team if they pressure this mid tower, but she's never gonna walk up that hill.
Yeah.
If she dies, her game is super sad. So now you walk up into the enemy high ground without your carry, and you take a 4 versus 5. The Storm also has Arcane Rune.
Okay, another
Might jump
smoke
the Storm,
coming
though.
from NoPing, but they get the Storm with the Dragon Tail and the Bushwhack and the Silence. That is going to be a kill, but at what cost? RDO doesn't seem to be phased by that Silence. So, okay, we can talk about this once it's over. Can they get Lixex? They will. The Blink, the Bushwhack, it's more than enough damage, and that's going to be a dead Mars. So, who's to blame there? Because both teams actually going for a smoke at the same time.
I think if you are the Storm, you should be realizing that lanes are not being pressured, and you actually have vision in the enemy big jungle. If they are not in that jungle, and lanes are not getting pressured, where can they be? They have to be near the DP. And you know that they have some vision there, because they were playing there before. And they have really good jump, right?
Suits gets ulted by the Scarif Mage Silence, but the center Conqueror there with a good stomp. Can they get Duster with another slow? I think so. The Axe with the bolt, just on Ench, but it will actually give the buff towards Duster, so he's a little bit tankier now. Ench actually gets another stomp with a beautiful arena and the Bork, but the buff from the boat still going on. Do they have enough damage? Jamery kind of low on mana, has to zip away as RDO shows up with a level 1 Eclipse. That's going to be a dead Skyrato. And Lixex still fighting. Oh, no, dude. So many good stuns as they spear the Luna. They show up with Mingate. Elmisha should be dead. Yeah, the zip's going to be enough, but can they chase RDO? That's really what matters. He has Madness. Do you pop it? Do you don't pop it? I think he's going to be fine as the X will hold all of the other heroes in place.
As a drafter, there's nothing I hate more than when a caster tells me to just ban this hero in the enemy team. But this Enchantress is doing so much. This is the 4th smoke that she's in, or I guess the 4th engagement, 3 of them being smokes, where she's in a great position to just soak all of the aggression from the enemy team.
Suits gets quickly insta-gipped there by the spear, and now Sexy Fat can just watch as his friend cries. Do they go for more? They do, because they have a Storm, no cooldowns. The Silence is going to be there. And yeah, I gotta say, dude, this Ench, maybe they felt like it was only the Darkseer lane being too weak against it. That was the reason for the game 2 loss. But those center stomps and the lane, generally speaking, from Namikaze has been really good. He's impressive.
And the positioning.
Yeah.
I remember last game, she would be running into smokes, holding high ground. Same here. That first fight that NoPing loses, she's holding a high ground.
Hello, that is another arena with the Bulwark. Dead heroes on the side of NoPing and RDO. Is he going to be next? He does not have a BKB, very close to the recipe, but the resources on the side of Omega not quite there. The Centaur. Okay, finally, they actually get the spear back with the Silence. Is it enough damage? I don't think it is. So Suits chases the sky as Lixex gets a little baited. He does have this. Oh god, so many things happening at the same time. Suits
in the fight.
Pops the BKB. Will go for the Mars, but he's liking damage. Wait, is he dead? I think he's dead. Wow.
The Dire needs to keep track of the areas where Omega is playing. They knew that Omega was playing there 4 minutes ago. So they were obviously going to have some high ground vision. and they just walk there without ever dewarding it, and that's why the jumps happen, because there's 2 goddamn cliff wards just showing exactly where everyone is.
Yeah, do you think that it's just RDO being a little bit too cocky with the Luna Knight vision? He felt like there's no way something would happen?
No, the supports should be keeping track. They should know that the enemy team was there, and there's a high chance they have vision.
Okay. Okie dokie. In terms of net worth here, the carries are relatively even, but it does feel like the momentum is way more on Omega side, right?
Yeah, it is more of a similar game to the last one, not to that extreme where the Ursa has these timings that he has to hit, but Dire is a team fight lineup. They want to take towers, they want to win team fights. They do have some timings, right? Again, nothing extreme, but they would be loving to take more towers and have more good engagements. There's the BKB on Luna. This is the biggest timing. This is where Luna wants to take a tower and get Roche.
Yeah. Looks like they don't want to just go towards the Roche, which will give a free tower for Omega. Can they find anything? Apparently not. Just a couple of wards around Radiant's Triangle and control this area a little bit, which is pretty good. Wait, they actually popped the Dragon Form. What? Okay, so they're gonna force this. Or will they?
He's afraid though. Oh no.
What is
That's
happening?
always a bad sign when you pop the ulti and then you like hit the tower, but you actually don't commit for the engagement. They're kind of just waiting there and maybe hoping that the Radiant is going to either come and walk into them or maybe touch the mid wave.
Alright, so is this the Galaxy Brain play where you pretend you're wasting your ulti so they try and fight without knowing you have a BKB on your Luna?
It's minute almost 19. They know there's a BKB on Luna.
Well, they know, and they will actually go one Ench, taking some damage, but will not last for too long as they find the Scarif Mage as well. Nice, Duster dies as Sexy Fat gets thrown up into the air and killed. Mingate taking some good damage from that Luna as they buy back the Ench. Mars is already dead. Can they do something about this RDO? His BKB is on cooldown, and he will perish before the Tiny does. Oh, and the Glimmer Cape on Mingate. It could be enough. Namikaze once again with the MVP plays. The Glimmer there, more than enough to save the Tiny. Suits TPs, but that's a sad moment, and it all started with that Dragon Form usage. I guess they do get the tower at least.
You would definitely want more than that. Yet again, this Enchantress just understanding her limits, running in. Usually, it's kind of a crazy play to just be like, oh, so the enemy have this timing of the BKB on Luna. We don't care. We're just gonna run into their high ground and start the fight. But they do it with the Enchantress. The Enchantress kind of reveals all of the enemies. As you said, they don't have the DK form, and now once Enchantress is dead, she's just gonna buy back and TP on the tower. So they understand the fact that there's a tower there, and they have the buyback advantage.
Yeah.
So even if you're fighting into this timing, it's not going to be that bad. Because you're going to reveal all of them with your Enchantress walking in and use your buybacks.
Yeah, that was nicely said. He just threw himself on top of the DP with OT, but that gave the vision, that gave the confidence for the Omega heroes to take a good fight. Mars also, died at the beginning, but got the arena off, got the damage and everything, which allowed the Tiny and the Storm to survive and reap the benefits of that fight. RDO, do you think this is a... Would you assume this is a puppy pause after, a fight that was weird?
Don't know if I would do that, but right now they definitely don't really know what they want to do. This is where you would just want to get, let's say, a different, just a fresh call. Like, let's wait for this item. See what timings you have coming up. Think about those. Just try to get some fight with those timings. Maybe you try to go for, let's say, some pick-off. You need something to happen now so that you get the sages. Or you could just chill and try to, let's say, farm your map and be fine with the game going into more of a late game and outside of the game plan of the Luna. Because it's not that bad.
Okay. All right. apparently it is not that bad. RDO still having a good game, 3-1 on that Luna. But Mingate looking pretty good himself with this Shadow Blade into BKB. I guess he does need a BKB, or you get pretty hard against Kunkka, right?
Yeah, you just need to be able to actually commit in fights.
All right, so they finally unpause. Feels like Mingate is not even gonna bother going back to base. His hero is broken and he takes no damage. J. Marie has a lot of saved gold. Do you? He just goes BKB here, right? I would assume.
That is probably the good call, but it might be one of those situations where he's like, I have 3,000 gold. Lincolns would be so much better than BKB, wouldn't it? What if I just chill right now and get my Lincolns?
And he's
the reason I would want the BKB is because this is the timing where Dire wants to get an objective. They want to get a big fight. He should be understanding that. So if he can time his BKB with this moment, that would be amazing. That's what I would hope for him to do.
Yeah, feels like, especially after losing that fight, NoPing, they're not going to force this too much, which could give time for the Storm to farm the Lincolns. He is just chilling here, waiting for the wave to push us in the top lane. They actually find suits and they actually chain him down pretty well. Oh, is he just gonna... Oh my god. I don't think that's okay. Oof.
They jumped the Luna.
Okay, okay, RDO does hold on to the BKB, and J-Marie will just TP away. Very nicely done. Dude, I think Omega is just outplaying NoPing at this point.
Amazing space by J-Marie. It's kind of a weird play, I'm gonna be honest, but whatever. I mean, you get the wave, just make some space, it's fine. And they are using that to go Roche. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, smoke coming. Sexy Fat is not under the guise of smoke though, so he will be spotted if someone is outside the pit. This is relatively fast. DK, okay, actually blinks in with the shard. Lots of damage around the Roche, but if he just dies before the fight begins, this could be problematic. Yeah, 2 heroes dead. Sexy Fat buys back with no Dragon Form as RDO pops the BKB. Who's gonna get the Roche? It's actually snatched by Lissax as Mingate keeps on fighting. Doesn't have Shadow Blade out. Should probably die, but still, the Mars will blink away. The Aegis is stolen at the end of the day, and Namikaze falls for the sins of his allies. Still, pretty amazing for Omega, right? You steal the Aegis and you force the buyback on the DK.
Yeah, the outcome is very good. The reason why I like this play is basically the fact that Luna would really want that Aegis. If you're Raiden, you don't think, oh, I want the Aegis, I want to do something. No, you're thinking like, if these guys don't get the Aegis on the Dire team, I'm gonna be pretty happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a crazy play though. It was a very crazy play. You could have very well just gotten outclicked by the Luna, and now she has the Aegis.
Yeah, very true. Also worth mentioning that J-Marie did buy the BKB. We were kind of discussing. So I think for that sort of play, the BKB definitely makes more sense because you're kind of forcing and expecting to be in a team fight. Oh, Lissax hunting squirrels, but El Micho will be fine.
Luna is gonna go for a Crystallis apparently, and then Skadi.
Okay, pretty old school.
Basically,
not old school, but ever since the shard was introduced, I think it got popular. Then recently, I didn't see that many people going for it.
It's the build you need to go when you know that the game is going to go into later game.
He just changed his mind. Gets the Skadi instead, which is also pretty good versus Tiny.
I think you're going into Skadi and Shard and Crystallis. Almost doesn't matter what.
Just the order being a little bit different there. Lissax pretty close to the BKB, so that is another timing here. They're going to have 3 BKBs on their course very soon. So that's probably going to shift the way the game's being played. Felt like NoPing was the one trying to force most of the fights. But once all of them have BKB, I think they can start grouping up a little bit more, right?
They definitely can. And they also have the ability to hit towers themselves as well with this tiny. Something that's kind of impactful is the fact that NoPing is not going for as much control on this power runes. They have the instant disable that would allow them to really get good jumps when people go for the runes, but they haven't really made plays on them.
Yeah, feels like
Ngate doing some weird stuff.
No.
Are you gonna walk
Vision, though. No sentry. RDO gets stunned. He doesn't pop the BKB. He's just going to die. This is the terrible beginning. Weird stuff from Ngate somehow pays off. And El Misho, more like El Dead Squirrel. And he will die.
It was a word on the high ground.
Yeah.
There was some old word on the high ground. The Radiant had plays there. And when Dire come, you're going there. You're going to hold the area. You want to make a play in that area. I don't know if you want to take a fight or you want to pressure the bot tower with a minute 25 catapult. One of those two. You need to check the high ground. You need to make sure there's not going to be some high ground cliff word just destroying you.
Yeah.
And that vision is what allows the Tiny to run in and just get the 100-0 disable on Luna.
Okay, Sexy Fat kind of predicts the jump. The BKB is ready, so Lissex will not die instantly. Can they burst down Duster? They don't even want to. They just want to run away. And they will gift a demon in return for their trouble. The glyph gets popped on the bottom side of the map because of Mingate, and it is time for them to...
It was an uncoordinated jump. They jump on mid without actually having basically half of the team. And not only are they jumping when half of the team is hitting the bot tower, that means that they are showing. So now NoPing know that they can commit with everything because the fight is going to be good because this Tiny is on the bottom wave.
Yeah, very true. Very nicely done there. I guess NoPing just did what they're supposed to. Omega being a little greedy with some of this.
It's still important to understand that the enemy team is not going to be able to have enough numbers so you are allowed to commit.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's South America, dude. They're just gonna jump. I was not gonna use that word. I'm very sorry. RDO actually spots the storm because of nighttime. Very good arena here. No BKB being popped, by the way. So RDO's gonna be very low once the stun ends. Still holding on to it, for God's sake, as the Mars dies. Can the Ench survive? Looks like she will.
Okay, this is kind of the second time in a row when they go for a jump while Tiny is showing on another lane.
Yeah.
He was showing on top lane. Be careful. Where's the communication?
Very weird.
Also something important to note. The Storm jumped in without DK being, but he survived because there weren't enough disables. If DK is there together with his team, he's just gonna kill the Storm.
I wholeheartedly agree with that assessment. Now they are pushing bottom here. Okay, and that's... Oh my lord, what is happening, Omega? These moves are a little bit discombobulated, but they will find a Kanka. He is out of his BKB. Now Mingate pops his one. They know that the Luna still has one, so you gotta be careful. Well,
if you click the two Dire supports fight starting.
Okay, yeah, the Ench will actually live. There's no detection here on our boy Duster, and Ench will actually claim that kill as the Luna pieces back to the base. They don't find the squirrel. Oh, maybe they... Nah, they're fine.
The two supports on the Dire side have no sentries. In the fight, they actually had no sentries on them. You need to have some sentries ready and to put them on the ground. Yeah. When you are going to be holding areas. The fact that Tiny can initiate but just casually walking in and comboing you and 100-0 in your course is very bad.
Yeah. Also the reason why that ward was up, right? When they were controlling the cliff. No sentry there.
Exactly.
They will find a Luna. They know BKB is on cooldown, by the way, so maybe that's why Lissex went so deep. Do they have enough burst damage? They do. The Scarif Mage ulti is there. As now they buy back Duster. This is looking terrible for NoPing. They even forced the Exo for absolutely no reason. Yikes.
This ward on the cliff in the Radiant Big Jungle gets away without being dewarded for a very long time. They have the vision. They realize on Radiant that NoPing is playing that area and that they have the cooldown on BKB. Very good, well-coordinated, fast smoke.
Yeah.
Yet again, good smokes from Omega. Gives them the good jump. Very impactful kill. Now they can own the map.
Yeah, and maybe own this tower or force a buyback on Luna. Unfortunately, Omega doesn't know. There's no buyback on this RDO Luna. They do have a couple of good bushwhacks, so that is buying a lot of time here coming from El Misho. Jesus Christ, just kill the goddamn squirrel. And they will. They will swiftly kill the squirrel. This is looking like 2 lanes of barracks. That Tine is way too fat right now.
You just kind of have to give them their axe. That's what happens when you lose a fight on your side of the map.
Very,
Yes,
very
Tiny.
true. Bolt is wasted, and they can quickly disengage. This is so weird. NoPing crush game 1 in like, it's been a while since I've seen such a dominating stomp, and now Omega, they're looking really, I mean, I'm not sure if Omega is looking better, if NoPing is playing worse, but we did point a couple of mistakes, we could say, NoPing did this game.
You can basically point mistakes like that in most games.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that it's a game dominated by mistakes. If anyone is dominating this game, it's probably Namikaze on his Enchantress.
Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely agree that he is looking like the MVP once
Look
again.
at him! Another smoke broken. This guy knows. This guy understands the movement of the enemy team. He understands how he can get good engagements. How he can make sure that his team has the vision advantage or the high ground advantage. He has been on top of the wards. He has been breaking smokes and making sure that his team fights in the right places.
Okay, Namikaze. All right, they do
So
wait
crazy.
quite a bit there, so... Oh, it looks like they want to fight anyways. Very big jump from J-Mari. They will kill the squirrel. As now buybacks gets used, Suits pops the BKB, but looks like they're going to be able to disengage here on the side of Omega. They force quite a bit of spells, and they chill. Wow, this is really impressive.
I love this guy so much. Goes in, baits a bunch of cooldowns. Obviously, that's a bad fight, but his team didn't commit to it, so that's what's important. Yeah, 100%. That would be a bad fight for Radiant.
Yeah.
That was probably communicated. They don't commit. They just get an easy support kill. Go back. Now you trade supports. Get a buyback. Get a bunch of cooldowns. Again, very impactful.
Yeah, and I think like the Storm pick really enables this playstyle, right? Because you can commit without really hurting yourself at all.
Yeah, for sure.
Duster will be spotted here. They have a Dust. The Scarif Mesh, though, gets fine. Found by Sexy Fat, or... Okay, he will eventually die. And that is a 2 for 1, I believe.
Oh.
There we go.
They are abusing the cooldowns. There was no Death Prophet ulti, and there were some BKBs on cooldown. So they don't care that the fight is bad. They're gonna run in, because they know that they are strong enough, and it's these abilities and items being on cooldown mean that they are going to be able to win the fight. And it's also in a good place, because now you can get the Rosh afterwards.
Indeed. Indeed. That's going to be a shard for... What is the... I guess Ench gets it? No. They're going... Okay, Mars didn't have one. Alright. No, he does have it. What?
He's keeping it. Let's see, who is going to get it?
I think it has to be
Skyrat?
Ench, right? Skyrat is
Could
okay.
also be Storm.
True. Yeah, I would like to see Ench, you know, just healing back up after those fights, thinking a little bit more, but he is a selfless man. He doesn't want it.
You are about to siege, right? You have the Aegis, you know you want to stage. Maybe the Enchantress shard is the most valuable at this point.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but so far the Mars is just like, nah, I'll keep it in case my shard suddenly goes away.
Till you guys can behave and decide who's gonna get it.
All right, they will smoke once again. I mean, so many smokes from NoPing. Looks like
They had to do more on NoPing to stop this. The fact that Omega just gets Rosh and then they get to push here without their waves ever getting caught, without them being split push,
Yeah.
NoPing is just kind of waiting.
Okay, they will actually push the Tiny, but he's a massive block of rock. Doesn't get phased by it at all. Huge engage here. They pop the OT on Duster, but I think Mingata is just gonna totally destroy him as the Tiny falls. The Bolt EL, it was actually pretty close, but doesn't connect. He pops his BKB. The Storm comes back. Duster's still invis somehow. They don't have a sentry as Jmari very low will zip away as the Tiny falls. So sloppy engage there from Omega, and then just doing inch things. Even gets a kill on Duster, but falls.
Yeah, they commit a little bit too hard without being able to kill with their BKBs. So once you can only kill the support using your BKBs, and now you're in the enemy base, and you don't have that magic immunity anymore, you can't really take the fight because you're just gonna get destroyed by Luna.
Yeah, I think they were banking on the jam of the Scarif Mage, but I think he had to be away from the fight, and they never really focused Duster. He was doing a lot of damage with the Exo the whole time.
Yeah, that was pretty important as well. Just think they should have thought a little bit more through it. Maybe not just like walk up, maybe just, okay, the enemy team is stuck in the base, whatever. Let's just own the entire map, and when they go out, we try to pressure them again or smoke them or something like that. It's kind of hard to win against this team when they have a bunch of buybacks in their own base. And when you can't like 100-0 people through BKB. If they would do exactly the same thing, but they would jump people, so they could 100-0 them, it would probably look better.
True.
Let's see what NoPing can do right now. There's some people that you have ways to get kills. You have some instant disables. I think they should venture on the map. Let's try to get some stuff done.
Yeah, they will do just that. There is one ward protecting Namikaze though, and his center will scout their position.
They were a little bit slow. They just get the wards on the ground, and now they get out. They need to deal better with these waves. They haven't dealt with top as much as they could have. There's some catapults on top that are going to be pretty hard to kill. And they didn't use this timing where Radiant heroes were dead to...
Oh, Jmari. Look, okay. I thought he knew Elmish was there.
That was so close.
Oh, that's the same. Oh, wait. He
So
didn't
close.
clip? I guess he used with no vision. Maybe the Remnant. I don't know what happened there. Huh. Yeah.
Stop, guys. NoPing. Let's go. Wave is it? No base.
Yeah, RDO will attend to that top lane. He's getting pretty close to his level 25. Not super effective in this game, but it's going to be a little bit more damage to him.
They have to be careful right now. Let's make sure that they don't get jumped while the Luna is dealing with the top wave. Should be careful with that.
Yeah, RDO
Seems
doesn't...
like they are thinking about it.
He actually doesn't even clear... Okay, he will clear the other wave, but...
He was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Well done.
Alright. Smoke. No, only Invis from Mingate. They find the Kunkka, but the BKB is their own point. Well, okay, Jmari gets a huge freaking electric vortex as they just smash Duster's face. They will keep going for Sexy Fat. Suits is forced out. And this is not looking good because the Luna has no buyback. They're going to buy back Duster. But will it matter if RDO is not ready?
What an engagement. This time they had vision, they had sentries on the ground. It wasn't anything bad about the way they were holding it on NoPing. Maybe Radiant is just so strong that NoPing can't hold those areas, but the vortex from Storm into the double spear. That was a spear with shard.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
By the way, who got this? Okay, it is Ench. They do get a good tidal wave. What the hell is the Kunkka? Oh, he was X'd. Okay. He goes back to his base. The glyph gets popped. Storm actually TPs. I think that was pretty greedy. They don't know, obviously, but very greedy TP as they go high ground.
Keep it before they, like right after the fight.
Yeah, but like, do you go high ground knowing he's not there? Alright, huge zip.
Luna is dead. Yes, they do.
Alright. Range barracks fall. I mean, this is looking pretty over. Sure, they can hold the mega creeps, but this Tiny just pushes so fast they might even get tier 4s right now. Okay, Sexy Fat pops a Dragon Tail, holds onto that BKB as Suits pops his own BKB just to actually hit the Storm, but he still has his. So he's just gonna use it, the break on DK, he's dead, he has buyback, so he was just trying to force that buy time so that RDO shows up, and that's when they will get out, I think.
Good discipline.
Yep.
That was nicely done.
Wow. So this is actually huge because a lot of people were thinking that Wolf Team was not going to be able to go to Division 1 just because SG and NoPing were looking so good. But then NoPing loses to Wolf Team, which is really the team that's like looking like a good opponent to fight for that. And now they're going to lose to Omega, another team with 2 points. So suddenly NoPing is going to be 3-2 and tied with a lot of other teams. Feels like, you know, tiebreakers could really become a problem when they started so flawlessly.
The teams in Division 2, they are so close in terms of skill. I think that's pretty nice to see. It shows that the region is deep in terms of talent, right?
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
What's the plan for Dire? What do they do?
Well, Rapier is not in RDO's quick buy right now, but could be a beginning. He's very poor. I think he bought the silver. Did he always have the silver edge?
No.
Yeah, I guess he got it now. It's okay versus the Mars, but not that great versus Tiny, honestly.
It's honestly only good against the Mars. You can break him and kill him in fights. So now this Mars can just jump in and be immortal while he casts all of his spells.
I guess
that might be what he's thinking about.
The Enchantress is so farm. Like, Enchantress is getting close to DK's farm. And he's like, alright, I'm gonna kill that Ench. As a carry, gonna build a Silver Edge to kill Namikaze.
I think you can really think like that, to be honest. Not if you want to win from this position.
Yeah. Namikaze looking crisp and sprunky as ever, just dancing around, playing by himself in the enemy triangle. No fear, really.
This guy knows his limits. I love his gameplay on Enchantress.
Yeah, it's looking really good for him. Looks like all they want to do on the side of Omega is wait the Roach, which I don't mind. This is such a big game for them. Actually, taking this game out of NoPing gives them real chances of qualifying to Division 1. So I will not blame them whatsoever. So like, as NoPing in this game, they're just safe for buyback and hope that Omega plays, like, pushes poorly, and you just somehow find a win condition by forcing high ground afterwards.
The only thing that's going to be more impactful than buybacks is going to be the Divine. So yeah, that should probably be the plan.
Okay.
Try to have buybacks.
Well, instant Roche, by the way. Or maybe I'm dumb. I'm not entirely sure if it was instant, but
I didn't look at it.
There we go. Free Roche. Is this eggs or refresher? It is eggs. So who takes this? Mars or this? I guess. Okay, well, Sky already has his, so probably the Mars.
For the Enchantress.
Oh. There we go. It's going to be our boy Lissex. Having a pretty good game. Honestly, everyone on Omega played really well, with the exception of
Holy
game 1.
shit, they gave it to Enchantress.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Okay, he surpassed DKs now. He's about to surpass Mars. This is insane.
He has a Harpy. This is so good for sieging.
Oh,
he gets
boy.
the jump.
Gets a really good jump. They will kill 2 heroes. They do have buyback, but only on the Kunkka. Sexy Fat's forced Pop BKB to get out as RDO finally shows up with the break. Is this enough to get the kill? I don't think it is. Lissex pops that refresher. He does die eventually, but look at J-Murray just killing everyone. RDO trying to stand his ground, but Hero gets pushed again. That Axe is doing so much work, and that's going to be GG. Omega Gaming somehow come back from a series that I really felt like was gonna be like a 20-minute game 2 They slowly climbed back. I am very impressed, dude. As you said, these Division 2 teams, they are learning by the day. I think, there's a lot of criticism to be made about some things about the DPC, but you can see these teams improving. You can see how, even a team that looked as good as NoPing can get taken down by a team like Omega.
Time for another Bowie Twitter post about that Harpy being OP. They just walk up, they see two people, jump on Storm, pull on two people into arena and spear on both of them. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that Harpy can definitely do a couple of really impactful things. But yeah, guys, this is about it. The game is over. NoPing can still qualify. I feel like if you have more than 2 losses, then it gets really hard. So Omega, they are 3-2. I think NoPing also shares the same score. And I am Bowie. I'm joined here by Mangusa, my lovely co-caster. I'm sorry by some of the mic issues and all, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. And there will be more Division 1 Dota 2 in South America very soon. And yeah, just stay tuned. Follow the Epulze channel if you want to keep following what's going on in South America. And that's it. We are out.
Bye-bye.